Hello, I'm Mary Atkinson, and for this Stay at Home series, the FHT Stay at Home series, I'm going to be talking you through a self-care head massage. Self-care is just so important at the moment. We really need to be looking after ourselves, and this is just a lovely, refreshing, relaxing, simple way of looking after yourself. It's actually a really strong Indian tradition. For over 5,000 years, Indian women have been giving themselves a head massage. So you are following in a long tradition. Men tend to have their head massaged at the barbers, but if you're a man watching this, well, please massage your own head too. Um, I've been teaching Indian head massage, an FHT accredited diploma course, for around 15 years now. My book, The Art of Indian Head Massage, was first published in 2000, and since then I've become absolutely fascinated and passionate about the many benefits of head massage. So some of those benefits, I know that it's giving yourself a self-massage is absolutely not the same as going to a therapist and having somebody else giving you that treatment, but you can still get those benefits. So they can be really helpful with relaxation, with lifting your mood, with helping you sleep. And helping you to sort of help with that little bit of brain fog that we kind of get at the moment when every day seems to be a little bit different. So, and it's a time to really concentrate on yourself and to give you some me time. If you're going to be using oil, then the oil can also be very helpful in the conditioning of your hair. I'm not actually going to be using oil today because I'm sitting here in my office, but if you are using oil, then I'll show you how to do that. And some of the different oils that you might choose to use are, well, a lovely organic vegetable oil is what is normally used, something like a sweet almond oil or sunflower oil or grapeseed oil. But you might also, if you are an aromatherapist and you have an understanding of essential oils, then you might like also to add some essential oils into your mix. But today I won't be using oil, and that's absolutely fine. If you don't want to choose to use oil either, then that works really well as well. So what I would like to say is for you to check any contraindications before you do this. As a therapist, you would know what those contraindications are. You know your own health. And if you have any doubts, then don't do it. But this is really a very gentle treatment, and the joy of doing it for yourself is that you can actually adapt the pressure to whatever suits you. So if you like a firmer pressure, you can have that. If you like a more gentle pressure, you can have that. And it's a great way of kind of experimenting with different moves. So when you do go back to work, you maybe have some different moves to try with your clients as well. So to begin with, we've thought about contraindications, which is important. We thought about using oil. So I'm going to now start with some breathing. That's going to really help to relax us into this time that we're giving to ourselves for self-care. A really great way of relaxation is to breathe in an aroma. So if you think of an aroma that you particularly like, at the moment I'm going to be thinking of that lovely smell of roses in the early summer. And you breathe that in, really let it fill your lungs, and then you breathe that out again. And it's a fantastic tip for actually knowing that you're breathing deep down into your lungs. So if you do that a few times at home, breathing in and breathing out with that lovely scent of something that you've chosen, your favourite scent. And that's also a great tip to share with clients. So now that we're feeling all ready, we're going to just begin with a gently circling on the temples. You can see gently circling those temples. So choose a speed that suits you, choose a pressure that suits you. This is all about you having your time. Oh, that feels good already. And now we'll do some gentle soothing of the forehead. Lovely. It's really about your hands telling you what a great job you're doing at the moment, staying safe, trying to stay healthy, and looking after yourself and the others in your care. Then we're going to do some nice neck rolls, forward and round. Just feel, oh, I can feel a few crunchy bits there. Lovely. And now let's just relieve some of the tension in our shoulders. You can do it the other side as well. If it's helpful, you can always do these things while leaning. I don't think you can see that properly, but leaning on a desk in front of you, if that's helpful for you. Just squeeze and knead those tensions and getting back. Lovely. Right, so now if you are using oil, now is a good time to be using your oil, and I would suggest that you take, it's about 50 mils or maybe like a 10p's worth, put it in your hand, rub your hands together so they're all really nice and warm, and then smooth it onto your scalp. It's really, I always say to my students, to get it all over the scalp is really important. Sometimes people might work with the marma points as well by placing it on the marma point, but for us, as we're doing self-massage for ourselves today, we're going to keep it just like this. But what's important is to work here around the hairline. So all around this hairline and the hairline along the occipital ridge. So this is quite a sensitive area and feels absolutely wonderful when you're really working it and not missing it out. So often people can work in the middle of the head and this hairline can get missed out. So whatever you do, remember to include the hairline. Lovely. So now we're going to do the wonderful one that we really love to have at the hairdressers, the sort of shampooing move, where you have your hands, your fingers apart, you go to your scalp and your fingers stick to your scalp and you move the scalp underneath your fingers so you can really feel your scalp moving and loosening and the blood circulating to your scalp, which is so beneficial. Really lovely. Your hair's going to be a mess, but gosh, you're going to feel really good. So we're really working to move the scalp. Now what can be lovely is if you do it with one hand and you can get right in behind the ears. And right in behind the ears. And then you can get in and under into the occipital ridge as well, and that can feel just so great. And you can use your thumbs to get in under, working the occipitalis muscle there. So just carry on doing this for as long as you feel that you want to. It just feels so, so good. I'm going to rake, which is another one of my favourite moves. So you're using your fingertips to rake through. So my hands are in a claw-like position and I'm raking through. This feels all nice and tingly. Oh, it's lovely. Now I'm going to do some rubbing. There's a lot of rubbing moves in Indian head massage. So we're going to continue. So with my my fingers still in this position, I'm going to rub. Really getting tingly and rubby. Try and do it in a zigzaggy type motion. Again, that can feel lovely, rubbing along the occipital ridge. You can also do this move with your fists. And again, that's great for getting in, oh, can't really see very well, getting in just behind the ears, right in behind the ears, where there's so many different lymphatic drainage points. can also do that with the flats of your fingers. I quite like to do it with one hand. You can really control, but if you want to do it with two, then that can feel really great as well. Oh, my head's starting to feel beautiful and tingly, and gosh, it does make you feel really quite refreshed and alert. It's really lovely. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying it. Lovely. Smooth the hair back into place. Now we're going to do a move which is actually one of my real favourites, and when you get this right it feels so good. It's absolutely great for the start of a tension headache because it's so loosening for the scalp. So if you have your hands with your fingers apart, then you come up onto the scalp and your fingers rest on the scalp. I don't know if you can see that, but my fingers are resting on the scalp and the whole of my hand is on the scalp. And I'm going to bring my fingers together, and then I'm going to make a fist, and that can feel really, really great. Now the lovely thing about this is that you can do the pressure that you feel is best for you, so that the heel of my hand is still on the scalp. I'm not lifting it up, because if you start to lift it up, then there's a danger that you could be pulling the hair. So with your heel of your hand still on your scalp, really tighten it as much as you like, and you can do some pulling and tightening as well. Pulling and tightening. Just experiment with what feels good for you. You might like to do it just with one hand. So my whole hand is on the scalp, my fingers come together, the heel of my hand stays on the scalp, but my fist tightens, and you can really feel the scalp loosening. That feels absolutely wonderful along the occipital ridge as well. Everything that you do along there just feels so good. So you can do that backwards and forwards, sideways. Cover the scalp with this move. Now you can stay as long as you want. I would normally sort of do to about the count of 5. You kind of know when you've had enough. Absolutely great move to do, and a lovely one if you are an Indian head massage to a therapist to share with your clients as well. So I'm going to go back to some of this beautiful shampooing, which feels so nice, but what we're going to do is we're going to add on a little difference to that, because we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to slowly work up to the top of the head and then pull up. Oh, feels so good. As you're doing this, as you're coming up to the top of your head and you start to pull off, imagine that you're really relieving all of that tension. You're lifting and moving that tension away from your scalp. Back into position. And now we're going to have our hands with a head resting just above your ears, fingers upwards, and then you're going to come up. You're going to rest on the top of your scalp, and again it's a lifting, releasing move. So hands above your ears, pulling up. So what's happening here is that with one hand, if I can show you, is coming up and over, and then it's meeting the other one. So you're coming up, maintaining a fairly firm pressure on the scalp and an even pressure as you come up. That feels absolutely lovely. Right, I'm going to put my hair back into place with this lovely raking move that gets everything tingling. And then I'm going to finish with some massage on my ears, which can feel so good. So gently massaging down your ears, and a gentle tug at the bottom. A gentle tug. To do that a few times. Then you can repeat any of the moves that you you really, really enjoy. But I just really wanted to encourage you to incorporate some head massage as part of your self-care. So now if you have put oil, if you have got this oil on your scalp, then what you would do is to put, rather than, when you come to wash your hair, I suggest that you leave it on for a good half an hour or so, so that your hair and your scalp can absorb the benefits. And then you put the shampoo directly on your hair. So you don't water it, put the shampoo directly on your hair, push the shampoo, mix it all around, and then you step into the shower and you put the wet on. Otherwise you can be left with a thin film of oil, which sort of it will wash out, but this is a very good tip to get rid of that oil. So I hope you've enjoyed the benefits, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a nice glass of water to help with the relaxation effect, and to ensure my own goodness after that head massage. And I do feel thirsty, and I do need this glass of water, so that's great. So I hope that you've really enjoyed sharing that head massage, and that you'll come back to the video and try it again and experiment with some new moves. So thank you for watching this video, which is part of the FHT Stay at Home series, and hope you stay safe and you stay healthy.